Wamidjika, and welcome to Melbourne for the AO 2024 draw. I'm Todd Woodbridge, great to have your company here today. But before we get to proceedings underway, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, and would also like to pay my respects to elders past and present. Well, the first Grand Slam of the year is just a few days from getting underway with the main draw, and the best tennis players in the world are descending upon Melbourne. And in a few moments' time, we will do the draw for the AO for 2024. To talk us through some of the analysis of that as things get underway, it's a warm welcome to Casey Delacqua. Casey, nice to have you with us here today. Qualies are underway at the moment. Main draw about to come out. There's going to be some interesting matchups. So you're looking forward to seeing who might be playing against who.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. This is obviously one of the most eagerly anticipated parts of being a tennis player is the draw. They'll all be waiting to see where their name gets pulled out. Obviously, we've seen some fantastic tennis already over the summer and in our lead-up events, but I think I'm really excited to see where some of the non-seeded players are pulled out. We've obviously got some names like Osaka, Wozniacki, Angie Kerber, so on the women's side, and Shapovalov on the men's. So I'm kind of keen to see where they fall.
All right, well, it's not far before we find that out. In a few moments' time, I'm going to be asking Wayne McEwen to undertake the men's and women's singles draw. But joining us also here, of course, is the Australian Open Tournament Director, Craig Tiley. And Craig, all the planning, the preparations have been done, qualies have been underway. Weather forecast looks fairly mild for an Australian summer. You must be happy with how it's all set. And are you ready?
If we get the weather forecast right, absolutely. And great to see you, Todd and Casey. Thank you. And it is that time of the year again that seems like it was just yesterday we were sitting here doing the draw for 2023. But really excited about 2024. We've got obviously not only a great lineup, great field, but also the site's looking magnificent, the best it's ever looked. And the last couple of days we've had over 40,000 people through the gate. So any indication, this is just opening week and the main event starts Sunday.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Time now to get that draw underway. Our tournament referee, Wayne McEwen, if you're all set down there, Wayne, it is now time for you to get that draw underway. We'll start with the women's singles draw with the assistance of Jasmine, who is one of our AO 2024 ball kids. Over to you.
Thank you, Todd. We all, as Todd mentioned, commence with the women's singles draw. We will randomly place the unseeded players. Okay, thank you. We will start with the tournament's number 1 seed on line number 1, Iga Swiatek. And on line 128, the number 2 seed, Aryna Sabalenka. We'll now draw seeds 3 and 4. With the first drawn going to line 33. Thank you. Number 3 seed, Elena Rybakina. Onto line 96. The number 4 seed, Coco Gauff. Seeds 5 through 8. First drawn onto line 32. We have the 7th seed, Marketa Vondrousova. Line 64. The number 5 seed, Jessica Pegula. Line 65. We have the 8th seed, Maria Sakkari. And on line 97, we have the 6th seed, Ons Jabeur. Seeds 9 through 12. First drawn, line 17. We have the 11th seed, Yelena Ostapenko. Line 49 is next. We have the 12th seed, Qinwen Zheng. Line 80, we have the 10th seed, Beatrice Haddad Maya. And on line 112, seed number 9, Barbara Krejcikova. Seeds 13 through 16. First drawn onto line 16. Number 15th seed, Veronika Kudermetova. Line 48. We have seed 14, Daria Kasatkina. Line 81. 16th seed, Caroline Garcia. And on line 113, we have the 13th seed, Ludmila Samsonova. Seeds 17 to 24. First drawn on line number 9. We have the 19th seed, Elena Svitolina. Line 24. We have the 18th seed, Victoria Azarenka. Line 41. We have the 24th seed, Annalina Kalinina. Line 56. The 22nd seed, Sorana Kostea. Line 73. The 20th seed, Magda Linette. Line 88. 23rd seed, Anastasia Potapova. Line 105. We have the 17th seed, Ekaterina Alexandrova. And on line 120, we have the 21st seed, Donna Vekic. Seeds 25 through 32. First drawn onto line 8. We have the 31st seed, Marie Buzkova. Line 25. We have the 27th seed, Emma Navarro. Line 40. We have the 26th seed, Jasmine Palini. Line 57. We have the 29th seed, Lin Zhu. Line 72. We have the 25th seed, Elise Mertens. Line 89. We have the 32nd seed, Leila Fernandez. Line 104. We have the 30th seed, Xinyu Wang. And completing the women's singles draw on line 121. We have the 28th seed, Lesia Surenko. Thank you very much, Desmond.
Thank you, Wayne. Wayne's going to take a moment now and he'll head off to finalise and approve the draw. Once that's been done, he'll come back out to do the men's draw. But we'll quickly do a few minutes analysis of that. I know you'll all be doing that in the room and online as well. But Casey, let's just take a look at that first quarter of the draw if we can. over to the right. We'll get that one pulled up for us here. And the pretty obvious thing is that first section of the draw is the number 1 seed, Iga Swiatek, taking on Sofia Kenin. Talk us through those first 4 up there.
Well, I mean, it's stacked with either Australian Open champions or finalists, obviously with Danielle Collins being there too. So that's a kind of mouth-watering section in terms of past champions and women that have had great success in Australia. So, yeah, I think for Angie Kerber, obviously playing a big hitter like Danielle Collins, that's going to be a great matchup. In terms of that other quarter, Todd, obviously just seeing Svitolina there play a young Australian, Taylor Preston, our wild card, who pushed Caroline Garcia to 3 sets in Adelaide last week. So be keen to see how Taylor goes against Svitolina. But, yeah.
There's a lot to focus on there. Let's go through to the next quarter there, if we can. And we'll take a look at another mouth-watering offer in the opening round. Elena Rybakina taking on Karolina Pliskova, obviously a former Wimbledon finalist. And you look at that and you go, wow, that's something that you wouldn't expect this early.
Yeah, I mean, 2 massive servers, so that's going to be a great first round. So yeah, that's a mouth-watering one, as you said. Olivia Gadecki there versus Sloane Stephens. That's a great first round as well. And you know, Zheng, I think we all saw her play at the United Cup. She was in some wonderful form. She's a super exciting player coming through. Katie Bolter also has had some fantastic wins through the United Cup against Jessica Pegula. So there's some really...
we can throw Emma Raducanu.
Yeah.
I know we've got the Brits in the room here at the moment, and they'll be looking at that as well. She takes on Shelby Rogers. So, you know, Shelby, a very good ball striker. So a really interesting and tough little section just on its own right there.
Yep.
I think it's worthy of a mention of Jess Pegula sitting down there as the number 5 seed as well. That half there with the Jung is one that I think we'll be keeping an eye on to see who maybe is able to get through that section.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right, let's move on to the third section of the draw. And there's some interesting standouts in this as well. The first one for me is let's go to number 81 and 82 there. That is Caroline Garcia taking on Naomi Osaka. Neither of those two would have wanted to be coming up against each other.
Well, of course, Naomi Osaka's name in the draw. Everyone was keen to see where she would get drawn, obviously against Garcia. So that's a riveting first round matchup, isn't it, Todd? And I think in this section, obviously the other standout is Caroline Wozniacki. He's also drawn a seed in Magda Linette.
So that's not a bad seed for Caroline, would you say? I was chatting to her husband, David, about her form. He said she's in terrific form. And if she was going to get a seed, that opens up a section for her, would you think? Or
yeah, look, I think seeds are one of those things. It doesn't matter at what point of the tournament, you've got to go and beat them anyway. So sometimes, you know, it's not the worst thing to draw a seed first up. Haddad Maia versus Fruhvirtova, who we've all seen Fruhvirtova's a real great up-and-comer. So I'm keen to keep an eye out for that match as well, Todd.
And that little bottom piece there between number 89 to 96, you've got Leylah Fernandez and Coco Gauff, two of the really young stars of the sport. Coco obviously coming in off winning the US Open, and Leylah being a US Open finalist. That section could be fascinating to watch.
Yeah, look, if they get through, for them to match up, great for the future of the game to see big stars and young guns like that coming through. So, yeah, keen to see Coco Gauff. She plays Schmidlova, so I would suspect get through that. But if they get through, yeah, a great matchup, Fernandez versus Gauff.
And our final quarter, the bottom part, we take a look at that. And a match that stood out for me, Ons Jabeur, obviously many of us in commentary enjoy watching her for the variation that she brings to the game. She takes on a qualifier, but then there's a potential matchup maybe with Mira Andreeva, who's obviously burst onto the scene in 2023. That could be something to keep our eye on. Yeah,
well, she obviously made the final here in the junior singles last year, had a good run at Wimbledon and is a quality player. So you're right, Todd. If she gets through against Pera there, that would be a great second round to keep an eye on. In this section as well, obviously Krejcikova is there as the number 9th seed. What else have we got?
Well, you've got Aryna Sabalenka sitting there down the bottom, and if you a quick summary of the four quarters, you would say that out of the draw it would be Aryna that's come out possibly with a cleanest and clearer run, and without too, in terms of names and potential tough matches. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, she's looking in good form, and obviously when you come back as the defending champion, you've got those wonderful memories, and you've got that, that good feeling when you head out onto Rod Laver Arena. But I think just having one more look, I think between 113 and 120 as well, there's, Taylor Townsend, who's in good form, Paula Badosa, Pavlyuchenkova. So that's a pretty stacked little section there as well in that bottom quarter.
It's a mouth-watering draw, there's no doubt about that. Fairly evenly dispersed, but a couple of classic round one matches that we're able to get our teeth into. Wayne is just about, he's back. All right. You're right. Okay, Wayne will be back. But before we get to that, I want to show you just a small video where we check out the Australian Open trophies, of course, the Norman Brooks Challenge Cup and the Daphne Ackhurst Memorial Cup, which have been travelling around Victoria as part of our AO on the Road series. Well, definitely, Norm, two of the most iconic trophies in the world of sport. There's no doubt about that. They are absolutely magnificent. They've done some miles, and so have the players, in getting here to Melbourne to be able to play for those. And we are now ready to undertake the men's draw. And if I could ask Wayne to get in position for that. And joining him is Tobias, who is one of our AO 2024 ball kids also. Back to you, Wayne.
Thank you, Todd. Again, we'll start by randomly placing the unseeded players into the men's draw. Thank you. Start with our number one seed on line 1, Novak Djokovic. Line 128, number 2 seed, Carlos Alcaraz. Seeds 3 and 4. First drawn onto line 33. Thank you. Our number 4th seed, Yannick Sinner. Onto line 96. Number 3 seed, Daniil Medvedev. Seeds 5 through 8. First drawn onto line 32. Thank you. Number 7th seed, Stefanos Tsitsipas. Line 64. We have our 5th seed, Andrei Rublev. Line 65. We have the 8th seed, Holger Rune. And on line 97, the number 6 seed, Alexander Zverev. Seeds 9 through 12. First drawn onto line 17. We have the number 12 seed, Taylor Fritz. Line 49. We have the 10th seed, Alex Dimona. Line 80. The number 9th seed, Herbert Hurkacz. And on line 112, our number 11th seed, Casper Ruud. Seeds 13 through 16. First drawn on line 16. We have the 16th seed, Ben Shelton. Line 48. The 15th seed, Karen Khachanov. Line 81. 13th seed, Grigor Dimitrov. And on line 113, 14th seed, Tommy Paul. Seeds 17 to 24. First drawn onto line 9. We have the 20th seed, Adrian Mannarino. Line 24. We have the 22nd seed, Francisco Cerundolo. Line 41. We have the 17th seed, Francis Tiafoe. Line 56. We have the 18th seed, Nicholas Jarry. Line 73. We have the 21st seed, Hugo Humbert. Line 88. 23rd seed, Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. Line 105. We have the 19th seed, Cameron Norrie. And completing that section on line 120. The 24th seed, Jan Leonard Struff. Seeds 25 to 32 are next. First drawn onto line 8. We have the number 30 seed, Thomas Martin Etcheverry. Line 25. We have the 25th seed, Lorenzo Musetti. Line 40. We have the 26th seed, Sebastian Baez. Line 57. The 29th seed, Sebastian Korda. Line 72, the 28th seed, Talon Grixpo. Line 89, seed 27, Felix Auger-Aliassime. Line 104, the 32nd seed, Jiří Lehečka. And completing the men's singles draw on line 121, we have the 31st seed, Alexander Bublik. Thank you very much, Tobias. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. And once again, Wayne will go over and finalise and sign off on that draw. But as he does that, let's just once again take a look at some of the matchups and some mouth-watering stuff once again as we take a look at the first quarter. And Casey, Novak Djokovic with a lucky loser or qualifier, whichever it may be, he'll be quite happy with something to ease his way into the tournament, you would suspect.
Yeah, look, I think that's a pretty good draw for Novak. I think he'll be, obviously, it's a battle of the Aussies on in line 3 and 4 to play Novak. But yeah, I think obviously Echeverry's in his third round. Andy Murray's obviously in there. Let's never ever count Andy Murray out, right?
That's right. You got Murray and Monfils in that top section, which is an interesting one for the terms of age coming up against Novak and people that he's got good records over.
Yes, absolutely. And also Stan Wawrinka in there as well, just below that. So obviously some amazing players that have got a huge legacy in tennis. But I think Novak will come through there.
Ben Shelton, obviously the 16th seed, sitting in that portion of the draw with Novak as a young gun that they had a fiery matchup, if you like, at the US Open. That'll be, if that was to come to fruition, that would create some interest, no doubt. But I want to go down to line 31-32, and possibly the standout first round match of the singles draw is Matteo Berrettini taking on Stefanos Tsitsipas, and that one should be an absolute classic of a match. That's something we're used to seeing more in the quarters than we are in an opening round, Casey.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure that'll get a decent court because there's going to be a lot of eyes on that match, and we know the support that both of those players in Berrettini and Tsitsipas both have. So,
it's good. We'll move on to that to the next quarter. And Jannik Sinner taking on Van der Zandschulp in the opening round. One of the standouts for me, Casey, number 41 versus 42, Francis Tiafoe and Borna Coric first round. That will be one that you'll be keeping close eyes on. Neither of them would be too pleased coming up against each other. Borna playing some really good tennis of late. Yeah,
that'll be great entertainment, that match. And let's not forget, Sinner has been drawn in Novak's half. So this is the second quarter of the draw. Obviously, Alex de Minaur playing Milos Raonic, former world number 3, and had a couple of years out with injury. But again, when you're playing someone as a bigger hitter like Raonic and he's coming back, that's not going to be, easy one first up for Alex.
It's not a lot of rhythm. We'll head down to the third quarter. And what stands out to you there, I guess we've got Daniil Medvedev there, Felix Auger-Aliassime in that section, but he takes on Dominic Thiem. And, obviously Felix trying to find some form, Dominic trying to still continue the comeback to the levels that he once played. That match in itself is going to have some interest around it to see who might be able to get through.
Yep, and also up the top, Holger Rune. I think he's a really good shot here, and particularly getting through that little section there. He's such a talent. And Denis Shapovalov was also drawn in this quarter to play a qualifier or lucky loser. So I think he'll be pretty happy using his protected ranking coming back to, although as we know, qualifiers and lucky losers are never easy as well. Grigor as well, obviously coming off his title in Brisbane and in some fantastic form. So, and Davidovich Fokina has played great.
He played very well over in Perth for Spain in the United Cup. Let's go to the next quarter. And the final quarter, interesting for German tennis to have Zverev and Koepfer going up against each other, line 97 and 98. Any other standouts in there for you? I guess Casper Ruud coming up against Ramos Vinolas. He was in scintillating form in the United Cup. I think he comes into this Australian Open in far better form and with a much better preparation than in previous years. He's one to keep an eye on, I think.
Yeah, Casper's played some great tennis at the United Cup, didn't lose a singles match. I just think this whole kind of quarter is interesting, Todd, in terms of potential matchups. I think when we've got Zverev in the same quarter as Alcaraz, there's obviously Casper Ruud. Cam Norrie is obviously had a fantastic season as well. So yeah, I think this half, and then obviously Medvedev also got drawn out in that bottom half. So I think as that kind of section goes on, it'll be interesting to see the matchups there.
Well, I guess the last one just to touch base on is the second seed Carlos Alcaraz. First time for a while he's been back in Australia. It'd be great to have him back. Many of the Australian fans haven't seen him since he's become a Grand Slam champion. He takes on Richard Gasquet. Tough one for Gasquet to come up against in one of his favourite Grand Slam tournaments. There's our draws. Wayne, do we have approval?
We have approval.
Fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, while the men's draw is being finalised, we've done all of that. We're only 3 days away. Would you like to play that video for me? No, we'll move on. Yeah. I think we're all ready. I think everybody wants to write their stories, get everything underway. It concludes the official draw, everyone, and some ripping matches, as you can tell, coming our way. So stay up to date with all of the AO news, the story, scores and tickets. You can go visit the ausopen.com website or download the AO app. Thanks everybody for your company here today, and we look forward to it all getting underway on Sunday. Bye for now.